Next up, we have Aragon. This is one of my favorite applications in our ecosystem. Carlos has been absolutely integral for building one of the most incumbent cross-chain voting solutions for the superchain ecosystem. And I'm so excited to have him deep dive into how our collaboration came about and how he's building for this space. Welcome, Carlos.
Hello, hello. Thanks, Mash. So I wanted to talk basically what is that we're doing with RISC Zero and why is it important at Aragon and honestly for the whole crypto. The title is zkGovernance. It's very generic, even though we are a little bit focused on the cross-chain layer. I'm going to talk about the whole thing. The first thing that I wanted to mention is like many people got into crypto because of decentralization, and actually like I would say that's the main thing of it. And many people thought of DAOs as like the way to go, or like the way to organize in the future through blockchains and so on. I think everyone can argue that that is not working very well. And there are many reasons for that. Like there are reasons that are more political or philosophical, but I'm not going to get into intersubjectivity. That's for Eigenlayer. That's too much for me. But I am going to talk about the technical problems. At least that's what I'm focused at Aragon. The first thing is like voter apathy. And sure, there are some philosophical reasons for that to not to go well, but honestly, voting is expensive. I've seen proposals in DAOs that are like a request for $20 or $100, and voting is $5. And you have 100 voters. So you have a proposal for $100, the expense is $500. So like you're spending more money than people are requesting. Then when you vote, for you to vote, you have to hold a token. So you cannot use DeFi, which basically means that you cannot do DeFi while you actually participate in DAOs. So like that's a dichotomy that people don't want to do. If you have a yield, you are going to go for the yield. You don't care about governance. I've been there. Then voting censuses are not exhaustive. It's really hard to do governance on chain when you have 100 tokens, well, not 100 tokens, but several tokens in a DAO or NFTs or whatever. And that means that many people are left out of voting. Another of the main problems is token standards. And many people don't know about this, but to have governance on a DAO, you need to have a token that supports governance. And I love when Brett mentioned before the cost of doing transfers for ERC20s. He actually put out the value for normal ERC20s, but if you want to have a DAO, you need to put the standard that is called ERC20 votes, and that one makes the transfer double the expense. So all the DAOs out there, the transfers are double expensive just because they have to do something on chain, like taking the snapshots. ERC20 votes is just bad as a standard. And then cross-chain doesn't work. Bridges are unsafe, generally. Users don't want to move the liquidity around, and waiting times are critical. So like, if the vote closes in 1 hour and you need to bridge your vote for whatever reason, that is tricky, might not happen. So after seeing all of these technical problems that we're facing, we're kind of like thinking how to go about them. And honestly, it was quite easy. When I saw what RISC Zero was doing, it was like kind of like, hey, we need to work together. And we started working, and we removed a lot of the friction. So RISC Zero zkVM solved these problems, all of them, all together with the same solution. And it hasn't been mentioned here, but like shout out to the Steel team in RISC Zero. They're doing amazing work. And it's making my life so easy. The first thing that we did, it was adding gasless voting to all DAOs. And that's very easy. Like, you have two ways to do this. Either we put the votes either we do approve with all the votes, that is all the signatures, or just you aggregate the proofs. And with RISC Zero, that is super easy. At least with Boundless, it's super easy. So this gasless voting just came out of the box. We had to do nothing, and it just worked. Then deprecating standards. The good thing about Steel in particular is that it automatically grabs the proofs for you for the storage. So like, if you need a storage proof to say that you hold something, it will just do it for you. You don't have to do anything. So out of the box, you get also queries to balance at certain times, and you don't need to use voting standards to query that storage, making it like tokens. You can use normal tokens for your DAO now, and you don't have to follow a standard that is actually making Ethereum transfers more expensive for everyone in the world. And then cross-chain censuses. In L2s, you can prove data through the... So in L2s, you can prove that you hold some data in the L1 by doing a proof on the L1 Bitcoin chain root that is held on the L2. That's a little bit technical, but basically what it means is that you can hold a token in the L1, normal token, and then in the L2, you just need to submit a proof that you hold that token in the L1, and automatically you will be able to vote in the L2. That means is that you have a DAO, and whatever it is your token, you will be able to use a chain that is cheaper and has certain properties that you might find it better than mainnet or whatever. And the same the other way around. Like, once you have voted in the L2, you can submit those votes to the L1 and then do some execution based on that. Basically, you are removing bridges altogether from DAOs, making executions completely trustless. And honestly, sometimes even cheaper. And the last thing that we did is strategies. So Rust allows you to worry about your problem and not worry about the language itself. This is something that if anyone has done Solidity, you will feel it. So like in matter of like a few days, we actually got most of the strategies, the voting strategies that we had already in Solidity, replicated in Rust. It was so simple. And if you use ChatGPT, even easier. And you will see how easy it is in a second. And then execution is not a constraint anymore. Something that we do a lot is like tokenomics through V tokens. V tokens are quite complex mathematically, and the storage are very heavy, super heavy. So what we started doing is like removing some of this storage, or like parts of that storage and the execution to the off-chain through zkProofs. And that's allowing us to have DAOs that couldn't be possible before in mainnet, because a single vote would have been $100. And now it's literally free because you aggregate them. So it's actually enabling things that we couldn't do before, and this is new modern types of governance models that wasn't possible before. Just to give a small example of what it takes to create one of these strategies for what we've built with RISC Zero is literally 3 lines of code. And with 3 lines of code, you can have a strategy that goes, in this case, not cross-chain, but it actually takes a look at a contract, a specific block, and so on. And we build this in a way that not only us can build these strategies, but like anyone can come here to the repo and submit their own strategies for cross-chain voting, for delegation, for random executions, or whatever they like. And again, this is for a normal ERC20 balance call, but it could be a little bit more complex or way more complex. The cool thing is like it allows for all of that. And you can have many tokens or whatever. I know there is not a lot of time, so that's all good, but you can reach out outside. We have a demo. Like, all of this is already working. So if you want to try it out for your protocol, for whatever, just come outside and we'll be able to talk. We have it in the UI, we have it in the backend, we have everything ready for you to try it out. Thank you. That's all. Any questions?
Is this voting process capable to be privacy, anonymous?
Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
The voting process can be anonymous. Don't reveal the
private voting.
Yeah.
Technically, it allows for it. We don't have the strategy, as I was describing, for anonymous voting, but technically can be. Private voting is quite complex, so it depends what are you targeting in particular. You will be able to do so or not. But like, for example, let's say that you have 32 tokens, 0.5. If you vote anonymously, I don't care if you vote anonymously because I still know that that's your holdings. So it's much tricky. Then what you normally do, you like split your vote in several chunks. So like maybe 10, 10, 10, 1, 1, and then you have 32, and you miss the 0.5. That's something that you could do, but like it's more complicated than what it looks, just to have private voting.
Thank you.
Yeah, one last question. No, yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, it's just when you generate a zkProof that you own a token on L1 so that you can vote on L2, how do you make sure these tokens were not spent in the meantime at T+1?
The good thing about DAOs is that everything works by snapshots. So you don't really care if by the time you submit the proof, that token has already been in another wallet, because that person had the token at a specific block. And that's the critical thing here.